funny is this? I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm gonna invite Jamie on now and see if we can try to get this together and she can get on with us. So let's see. All right, Jamie, yes, let's find you. Okay. This is it, fingers crossed. Let's see.
Hey.
Oh my God, hi.
Hi. Is there an echo?
I don't hear an echo.
Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm so glad we didn't give up. See, you just keep going when things don't work. You just keep going.
That's so weird. I wonder why there was such a bad echo on the phone.
I don't know, but you know what? I feel like, isn't that like the Dr. Mom way? You just keep trying until you figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
All right.
So there, we've got 31 people back on. So good. Oh my gosh, guys, thank you for being so patient. That was silly. That was silly.
But you know what? All of this stuff is so important that I feel like it's worth us trying until we figured it out, because honestly, like this information, it's not going to be like a normal live like you guys have probably seen on EP or Sparkle Crew or Facebook before. Jamie and I really wanted to bring you something like different and valuable and kind of like badass. I'm going to say it. So Jamie, go ahead if you want to take it away.
Okay, I am taking
started.
it away. And I, guys, apologize 15 minutes after the start time, but yeah, technology, you know, you can plan and it doesn't always go our way. All right, so thank you guys for joining us. Essentially Powerful's Essential Education. These happen monthly on the first Monday of the month. If you haven't caught on to these yet, stay plugged in because we have different topics going on every month, like very timely topics. So Amanda and I picked October for Dr. Mom because, you know, we are moving into a season where a lot of people need a lot of immune support, a lot of tips for sleep. So just a quick disclaimer before we get going. We are not here tonight as doctors. We are not here to diagnose, cure, or treat. A lot of what you're going to hear tonight are things that Amanda and I as moms have been doing for many years with our families. So please, please, please remember that intuition, and Amanda will go into this a little bit, but intuition and listening to your mama or papa gut, because this could be entitled, you know, Dr. Papa too, or Dr. Dad. We are moms. Please listen to your parental intuition, and what somebody else does may not be what you do. Do you know what I mean? So please, you know, no judgment here. I know Amanda and I are both very strong, opinionated mamas. But I know one thing that we do not do is judge other moms for doing things one way or not doing things another way. I am such a huge advocate for being able to make choices. Everyone needs to be able to make their own choices for their own family, especially when it comes to your body and your children's bodies and your own health. It is no one else's decision to do anything like that, right? So I just want to introduce myself really quickly. My name is Jamie MacKenzie. I'm one of the diamond leaders here on Essentially Powerful. I have 3 children. They are currently 10, 8, and 6. I have been using natural remedies, homeopathic oils, and pretty much everything in between since my pregnancy with my oldest. So for over 10 years now, I have been turning to natural remedies. I would definitely consider myself probably a crunchier mom or a naturally minded mom. I joined a fantastic moms group over 10 years ago called Holistic Moms Network. Google it, check it out. They're all over the country, chapters all over US and Canada. And in that group, that's where I learned a lot about homeopathics and oils and vaccine choices and schooling choices and eating choices. And so all of the things I do today, I really attribute to that initial choice to join a holistic moms group, you know, and here I am.
Awesome. And I just have to say that Jamie is honestly like one of the people that right away, just from seeing kind of just her life on social media, I just really started to look up to her and the things that she would share about her family. And like, just, I remember like Ellie and you cooking, like making soup one day on like a Facebook Live. And I was just like, she's so cool. Like, I want to be like friends with her. I just like how she does things. So I think I met Jamie at my first convention with Young Living. And I instantly was just like, I don't know, we have a very similar vibe and a thought process, I feel like. So Jamie and I became, I think, very, very quickly, we really learned to really like and appreciate each other. So my name is Amanda Roberts. I am a brand new gold here with Essentially Powerful. Super excited about that. I have one child. I have Penelope. She is 6 years old. And I actually did not use anything natural or anything like that at all until Penelope was born, really, like until the day she was put in my arms. And I realized that like I just had certain like maternal intuition that I needed to follow, and that, you know, came very heavy on my heart. And we've made very natural choices from that day to now. And I do a lot of things that are not very conventional. I'm just gonna warn you, everything that like I'm gonna share tonight, like it, you might be like, wow, she's crazy, she does that, like, but this is, we wanted to share what we do and what works for our family. And maybe, you know, it may be something that you've never even thought about, you know, and that's why we're here. We really want to empower you guys, and we want you to have all of the tools you need, oily and non-oily, to be fully armed walking into back to school, cold and flu season, all of that stuff. So we picked some really fun topics, and I'm super excited to share it with you. So I think that's pretty much it on me. And
I want
Penelope is very healthy, and I think Jamie's kids are, I think, pretty healthy too, right? Like, we don't really deal with like sickness a lot, but when we do, we have what we need here in our home to deal with it. So we're going to go over all of those things.
Absolutely. One analogy I want to give you guys, just as we're like just framing this out for you, is we often hear the controversy of whether or not you should ingest essential oils, right? And so I hear that a lot. And one thing that I like to remind people is, and I think this just ties in with making choices about our health anyway, but one thing I like to remind people is, if you've ever chewed a piece of gum, licked a candy cane, had an orange soda, you are ingesting essential oils. With Young Living, we have like the best of the best of the best. So, and you know that those companies are not using, you know, Young Living. But some people, when you go online and do Dr. Google, you're going to find if you ingest essential oils, it's going to do X, Y, Z, you're going to die, all this stuff. Right? But there are many people, raise your hand if you ingest essential oils here, guys. If you know, put in the comments below, me. So it is a personal choice whether you ingest essential oils. It is a personal choice whether you are going to do any of the things that we mentioned tonight. And I use the analogy of co-sleeping because that was a big thing for us when I had my babies. The doctors, and if you go into certain hospitals, there's posters on the wall that scare you that if you sleep with your baby could die. I mean, the posters legit say that. And I'm like, but wait a second, like, what would a mama, like cave mama do? Like cave mama would like have her baby like right there and like nurse him or her all night, you know? And that's what felt right to me. All of my babies were in my bed until they were like 2 years old. I nursed them all until they were over 2 years old. It's just what felt right for me, and I needed to listen to that. So when people come back with the, you can never ingest essential oils, it's kind of the same. To me, it's like a very similar thing. Some doctors, some people will tell you, aromatherapists don't do that. It's the same thing with co-sleeping, because so many of us have slept with our babies and everything is fine. Of course, there's those exceptions to the rule where somebody, you know, something tragic happens. But at the end of the day, we all have to have the autonomy to make decisions and choices for ourselves. And I just really can't stress that enough. I really, you know, we could like end it there, but I really can't stress that enough.
Yes, for sure. And I totally agree with that. So I think a lot of things with, you know, kids and even ourselves is just making informed choices. And even if it goes against maybe what, like, you know, your mom would do or your best friend would do, like, we make our decisions based on the information that we have, that we've gathered, that we've been educated on, and you make the best choice for your family, right? So that is a huge thing. And then I do want to just, I want to toss it back to you, Jamie, because I did want to talk about really quick that about compliance and some things you might hear tonight. And some things that I don't want you guys to be scared to talk about. So do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. And just to piggyback on what you just said, guys, we make the best choices with the information we have today, right? Because tomorrow you might learn something new. And so I think it's so important as moms and as parents to remember that you do your best, right? And when you know better, you can do better. And so that's what Young Living is about. It's about empowering and educating. So you know that we've had a big compliance crackdown, right? And don't say this, say that, the 25 hot words, what you can't say. So you're going to hear us say some things tonight, and a few of you who have been with us for a while are going to be going, oh, she said burn, she said cut, she said fever. So this is the thing. We're not saying that the solutions that we're offering that we do with our own families are the cure-all. You'll notice as we share our personal stories tonight, guys, that we're talking about things we're doing alongside Young Living, right? So you'll hear us, let's say, talking about what we do for a fever. It's not just one oil that's curing a fever. It's a lot of different things that might help perhaps alleviate some of the symptoms of that fever. And so when you are sharing stories with others, those of you that happen to be sharing Young Living because you love Young Living so much, just remember that when you're sharing, this is what we use for immune support. You can also talk about that you drink water, that you eat healthy food, that you get enough sleep. There are other components than just the oil that are helping you get over the flu faster or whatever, or helping so you don't run into the flu. So just keep that in mind as you're sharing your stories. As long as you are incorporating some of the other components of what you do to live naturally and to help your family thrive, you're okay. All right. And of course, we're not going to be saying like, got into trouble a while back anyway.
Yes. And I love that. I love that now we have that sort of, it's kind of like our storytelling. Like we can tell our stories, and as long as we say what we do wholly and don't just say like, thieves is going to cure you of the flu. Like, no, thieves as well as resting, drinking enough purified water,
right,
like resting, taking a detox bath, whatever it is, all of those things together and your thieves will definitely help you. So as long as you put it like that when you're sharing, and it's true, like it's not just like we're sitting there dousing ourselves in thieves, like we're doing other things, we're resting, we are, so that is like so important. And I am just so happy that we can finally kind of speak our truth now, which is great. So that being said, I just want to touch on something really quickly that I feel like is super important that, I wasn't necessarily doing that well with, but now I have changed. So something I think that is extremely important is as we are doing all of these things for our children and for ourselves and our family, we want to invite our families in with us on this journey. And like for my girl, now she's 6, like she's getting to a point where like she fully understands, like she's my little bestie. She knows, what we do, but it's important to know why, like teach your kids why they take a probiotic. When you give them their Mighty Pro, say like, hey, Penelope, like, do you know why we take Mighty Pro? Why do we take a probiotic, right? Because it's going to make your belly happy. It's going to help you, go to the bathroom regularly. Probiotics are the backbone of immunity, and your gut is like your second brain, literally. Like it controls everything in your body as far as immune system goes, moods, whatever. So you want to empower your kids also to understand why we make these choices. Why do you take your Mighty Pro, right? Why do you give them the thieves roller, have them roll it on the bottom of their feet before they go to bed, give them the power also to practice, what we're doing, and that it'll become second nature to them. And I think that that's extremely powerful. And I've watched it with my own daughter who like, before I'd be like, just take your vitamins, just eat them, please, eat them and go to bed, please. Like, but now, I'm trying to tell her, what's in it and why we use these things. And it's really cool to like watch her kind of get it at this point. And even if they're smaller, you can give your 2-year-old your stress away roller and say, okay, roll it on your neck. It's going to help you, chill out or whatever. So I think that taking your family and especially your little ones on the journey with you, and kind of educating them as you're making these, decisions and, using oils and whatever, it's really important to take them with you and to inform them. And then the other thing, is that I am a really big, I used to be a super germaphobe like freak. For those of you who know me and are on, you're probably like laughing because when you walk in my house, I'd be like, go wash your hands without you even like coming in basically. So since then, I've kind of gotten this like understanding of like germs and getting sick, and that we shouldn't always be scared, you know, to get sick. Like if you get a common cold, it's not the end of the world, right? Like at all. You pretty much, it's just showing that your immune system is working, your immune system's reacting. So don't fear those common, you know, little sicknesses that happen. Yes, it would be great if, you know, it didn't happen, but at the same time, it's showing that your immune system is working. So don't, you know, if you have 100.1 fever, like I wouldn't be running for the hills. You know what I mean? And we're going to talk a lot about fevers because I have a lot to say about fevers, but listen to your maternal intuition or your paternal intuition. You know your kids. You know your kids. If your kid's lethargic on the couch and something's like clearly wrong with them and you have a pit in your stomach, okay, like maybe you might want to use some medicine and not oils. But if your kid's a little uncomfortable and they're fine, they're talking, they're like, you know, lucid, they're looking at you, like maybe use some peppermint, you know, or whatever. So we're going to talk a little bit more about fevers, but I just want you guys to really tap into kind of not being scared of the things that are going to probably happen and how to handle them when they do happen.
It's so huge what you just touched on, Amanda, because you know, a runny nose, a fever, those are all a virus, a cold, the flu, those are all immune building experiences for our body. We are born with virtually no immune system whatsoever, and it's the viruses that we're around on a daily basis that Abby, we're going to be talking about that tonight. But it's the viruses that we're exposed to on a daily basis that our body creates antibodies. Our body actually like goes to war. And this is just kind of immune system 101 here. When I taught third grade, I used to teach this to my third graders, and we would like act it out. But you know, when your body's exposed to a virus, a healthy body will create an antibody and fight it. And then next time you're around that, your body says, oh, alert, I know that. I already have the antibody. I'm gonna, you know, go attack what's infiltrating. And I think, Amanda, I love what you said about what you teach Penelope, because when my kids were very, very small, we would talk a lot about food. I think food is a huge part of wellness and a huge part of being Dr. Mom. I can't even tell you how many, you know, mom play dates I've been on where I hear a mom say, oh, you know, all Johnny will eat are French fries and chicken nuggets. And it's like, well, all Johnny will eat is French fries and chicken nuggets because who's bringing that into the house? You know what I mean? Not to say I don't give my kids chicken nuggets and French fries, because when a babysitter comes, that goes in the oven and that's like the easy meal. But that's not our staple. You know what I mean? And so I would teach my children very young that they needed to eat their grow food. And that's how I described it to them when they were very small. Grow food is something that comes out of the earth. And this is what helps to build your immune system and your fighter cells. And that's the like language I used with my kids when they were teeny tiny, was that you need to eat food that's going to support your fighter cells, because you have fighter cells in your body. Now that they're older, you guys, and some of you may agree or not or disagree, we've had family members die of cancer. I talk to them about the foods that they're eating, how some foods feed cancer and some foods fight cancer. So they know what cancer is. They've seen people die of cancer. You know, they know, they've experienced it. So when they're eating stuff that's loaded with sugar, I'm just mindful to make sure to remind them, you know, we went to that birthday party yesterday. Let's today make sure we're really loading up on the cancer fighting foods, you know, so that they're learning balance. Because please, I just ate a handful of chocolate almonds before I walked in here. You know what I mean? Like no one's perfect. And I love my, you know, my indulgences. But I also had a really huge salad for breakfast, you know, so I think it's all about balance, and getting the kids in on the decision making and the understanding of it early on is really a big part of this.
Yes, totally agree. And that's something that we're really mindful of too, is the food that we put on our bodies and in our bodies, I'm sorry. And I always say to Penelope, you know, do you think that this is going to help your body, or do you think this is going to harm your body? Like I help her make the decision. I ask her and she knows, you know, and we try to always eat stuff that's not packaged. Like I always say, peels over packages, right? So you can eat food that is whole, real food, and maybe instead of grabbing a quick thing of pirate's booty, you can grab a banana or an apple or, you know, something like that. And everything that's organic now, you can get organic sliced apples in packages in Whole Foods. You know what I mean? So really being more mindful of, you know, the processed food, I think is a really big thing too, especially with just immunity, overall wellness, and all of that. And good eating habits, really.
100%. And, you know, I think this ties in so well, guys, to removing toxins, because when we are infiltrating our body with toxins and our little children's bodies with toxins, their bodies don't have as great of a chance as a little body that isn't infiltrated with toxins. So this goes down to the food they're eating, the water they're drinking, the lotions that are going on their skin, the wipes that are wiping their little behinds and cute little baby parts, to the diapers they're wearing. I mean, we're talking like most babies that are born already have a huge long laundry list of chemicals that are in their body due to the absorption of chemicals that came in through utero. It's crazy. And I should have even grabbed that number. I don't have it. You can Google that. This is fact. So when we're looking to keep our immune system really strong so that we're thriving and that we're healthy, and you can really go well visit every year, like, hey doc, nice to see you, thanks for the weigh-in and the height check, and we'll see you next year. That's our family. I mean, knock on wood, I hate saying it out loud, Amanda, but we go well visit to well visit. If there's an ear infection that pops up or something like that, I'll tell you guys what I do for that. We take care of it at home. If we have to go to the doctor, you know, we do. But if you're looking,
I just want to touch on that now that you brought it up. So we don't use our pediatrician that much. Penelope actually just had to get like a plastic surgery done from a birth defect she had when she was a baby corrected, and she had a cleft palate. So she just had a major surgery in May. So we did go a little bit more often to the doctor this year, and we do use modern medicine when needed, right? But we did, you know, she was under general anesthesia for 4.5 hours. So we're still detoxing from all of that stuff. But it's important that we know, yes, we needed modern medicine, but hey, guess what? We can detox. We can make informed choices. Like, they wanted to give her a whole bunch of medications before surgery, and I declined like half of them. I was like, no, she doesn't need that. No, she doesn't need. They hated me, but it's fine.
Personal
Dr.
choice.
Dr. Mom.
Personal
right?
choice. Yeah, that's our time right there.
Yes, but we use the chiropractor. Okay, that is my ace in the hole, is my chiropractor, you guys. And I adore this woman more than anything, because if we feel congestion coming on or anything going on, if we have a rumbling of an earache, whatever it is, I treat my chiropractor as most people would treat their primary care physician or pediatrician. So instead of running to the pediatrician, I run to the chiropractor. Okay?
And we do the same. We do the same. And, you know, with the ears, well, like, I may as well get into it now for a moment. With the ears, and, you know, knock on wood, my kids don't get ear infections anymore. But when they had an ear issue and, you know, it was red and they were pulling, I would go to my doctor, who I trust. She moved away. She's amazing. I found a new one that I like, but trusted so much. And I said, can you look in his ear and tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how pink is it? 10 being the eardrum's about to explode, 1 being like no issue at all. And she'd give me a number. I'd go home. I would do these garlic mullein drops that you can get at Whole Foods or I get on Amazon. They're these internal drops. We never put essential oils in the ear, but this is like a really amazing, they smell like pizza after you're done with it. This really amazing garlic drop that goes in the ear. Lying down on the couch, in goes the warm drops. And then I would take Purification, Melrose, Thieves Peppermint, dilute it down a little bit. I'd go around the ear, I'd go behind the ear, and I'd massage and pull. And of course, I gave them lots of fluids. And then like after like a day, because my intention was to go back to have her check again, to be like, okay, it's less pink. I never had to go back the second time. This was my plan every single time they had an ear infection. And my kids have never been on antibiotics. So that's obviously every family is different. We can't, you know, it's comparing, you know, apples and oranges family to family, but there's so much you can do at home. You don't have to jump right into the antibiotic train necessarily. And we've used the doctor also for things when it's medically necessary. Mm-hmm. So we're not anti-doctor here, guys. Let's make that abundantly clear.
No, I actually love my pediatrician. She's awesome. She's like kind of clueless, but she's still really awesome. And I go in there and I just like yap to her about all the things, and she's like, Okay. She like barely speaks English, but she's pretty cool. And she's not quick to prescribe medications either, which I like. So, and that's actually very funny you brought that up because Penelope, you know, she is 6 and she was in preschool and pre-K and, you know, like a private school, but still with tons of kids. Now
Right.
she is in 1st grade. We're actually homeschooling now. We started in March, which is awesome. And Jamie helped convince me that I could do it because if Jamie can do it with 3 kids, I could definitely do it with 1. And
Anyone
it's
can
amazing.
do it.
Yes, but it's so funny because Penelope's actually never been on an antibiotic either, and I really like, we've been prescribed them enough, like where you know we thought something was brewing and she would needed them, and I filled the prescription, kept it in my fridge twice. I've never actually given them to her. Even after surgery, I declined the routine antibiotic. So I am not anti-doctor either. However, I don't think that you need to just throw antibiotics at the wall and see if they stick. Okay.
Right.
So, and I really think that, you know, probiotics and all the things that we're going to talk about tonight help us get to that point where my daughter is 6 years old and has never needed them. So I definitely want to start, Jamie, talking about sleep because
Yes.
I really think that that is like one of the most important parts for your kids, for yourself, for your family is proper sleep.
Absolutely. So let's go into this tonight. We're going to talk about sleep. We're going to talk about fevers a little bit. We're going to get into immune support. We're going to talk about all the good things. Okay. So sleep, we know, is one of the major functions of keeping a healthy immune system. So if your children are not getting a decent amount of sleep, and if you as a parent are not getting decent sleep, that is massively affecting the immune system. So there are a few go-to oils that are absolutely fantastic for sleep. Remember, we can use our Young Living essential oils 3 ways. We can use them topically, like for instance, if we were to take lavender and rub it up and down the spine. If you guys haven't gotten on the rollerball train yet, you can order these rollers pretty much anywhere. I just got these like kind of sexy black ones recently. Aren't those sleek?
Oh, I like that. Is
yeah.
it like matte?
Yeah, they're matte black. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Nice.
And I've been doing like little labels on them. Yeah.
Dude.
I made some Boss Babe ones for a little like event I did with some of my business ladies, but it does not need to be this fancy, you guys. I mean, they say, you know, I have them in every color here, like whatever, you know, they're literally like in every color known to man,
and they're so cheap, so affordable, and it really helps when you make a roller ball do V6 carrier oil. That's what I always do, and it really helps to stretch your essential oils, especially, you know, like if you want to make them last a longer time.
Totally.
It's a really good way.
And if you don't want to spend the money on these guys, you can save your bottles. Just take some lemon oil and peel off the label, and you can use the roller adapters. They actually are the best roller balls that you can get. You can get them right on the Young Living website, and you can turn any of your bottles into a roller. But the nice thing about rollers is now you're not getting it on your hands. It's a really, really great, safe, and effective way to put oils on topically. So if you are wanting to, let's say, dilute a stronger oil for your children, you would put your carrier oil. I just buy it on Amazon and in the pump. Young Living just recently acquired a coconut farm. So I'm kind of hoping, praying, crossing my fingers that we're going to have our own coconut oil like soon.
You know, I like the V6 though because it doesn't stain. Like some fatty carrier oils I find stain, like coconut oil, olive oil, like they can stain your clothes. I like the V6 because it doesn't. So that's why I use that.
And the V6 is awesome. I know some people, it has some ingredients in it though that some people probably need. So it depends on like, you know.
There's like a wheat derivative in there, I think. So people with, I think, celiac were like weirded out by it or something.
Yeah, I think also it has sesame and it has some like nuts in it. So, you know, but anyway, whatever carrier oil, you guys can get grapeseed, you can get olive, it doesn't matter. So you can start to make a sleep blend. And so some of my go-to oils to add topically that you can roll up and down the spine, you can roll, you know, on your children's neck, behind the ears, under the bottom of the feet is a great place to put oils before bed. My kids love it. And the giggles that come out of their little bellies and mouths when I'm rolling their feet every night, it's like the cutest thing. I have to get a video and post it here for you guys because Gabriel's the best. His feet are so ticklish. But lavender, you guys, is a go-to. Vetiver is the nickname, I don't know if you guys have heard this, elephant tranquilizer. So if you're not using vetiver to help your family sleep and settle, it's an incredible one. Looking at some starter kit oils for those of you that are new to our oily family here, the peace and calming that comes in your kit is fabulous. Stress Away is wonderful. Valor is another one that is known for sleep. This is the thing. what works for you and your daughter is going to be very different than what works for someone else and their son. So you have to, that's why I love the starter kit, guys. I love it because you're getting frankincense, valor, lavender, peace and calming, stress away. Those are all sleep oils, but some of them might wake certain people up and some of them might, you know, sedate other people. So it really depends. Another oil, or actually another thing that I love are the ready to go rollers, because this way you're not even making a thing. So we have Valor roll on, we have peace and calming roll on.
So I'm totally not a DIY person, Jamie. I don't know if you know that about me, but I like hate making stuff. Like,
did you know that? Did you know that's the same with me? I don't like it either.
Really?
No, I don't like it.
If it's made.
No, the holiday catalog that just came out with those bath bombs, I'm like so excited. I'm not going to be making my own bath bombs. Never. Ever.
No. So I actually love the Calm roller. That's what we use. We use the Calm CBD roller and the Tranquil roller. Those are our two rollers for sleep. Oh, that is Tranquil.
Yep. This one is Tranquil. Yeah. So the rollers are awesome, guys, and they're all ready to go for you. The CBD roller Calm has vetiver in it. It has lavender in it. It's you're getting a lot of bang for your buck in that one product. And you can roll it, you know, on the little one's wrists, on the bottom of their feet. Another one that I love, I have like my special stash of it right here. Actually, I think it's in the other room, is Rutavala. I don't know if you guys know about Rutavala, but Rutavala, you're getting rue, you're getting valerian, and you're getting lavender. So, and that kind of comes in and out of stock, and that's a little hard one to get your hands on. But so try these different topical applications and see what works. And you know what, guys, when you find what works, just do it every day. That's all. It's very simple. So that's a topical application. We also can diffuse, right? We are diffusing every single room of our home for different reasons. To wake them up, schoolwork, we have Genius and Power, Brain Power, you know, and Clarity and Peppermint in our diffuser. Bedtime, the mood switches. We put in Valor or Lavender or Peace and Calming. And it's really what the kids like. It goes back to asking the kids, what are you in the mood for tonight? Which one is going to help calm you down? They all have diffusers in their rooms. We're loving the little new owl diffuser. And so the boys have that in their room right now. And my daughter still has the that dolphin one that they had years ago. Like, so yeah, she likes that one. So that's inhalation. Oh, another thing that actually we do a lot is we'll make a sleepy time spray. So the kids can be part of this as well. Valor, lavender, whatever they like, mixed with a little water. And there you go. They can spray the sheets down. They can spray their stuffed animals down. And if you guys didn't see in the new holiday catalog, they just came out with a teddy bear and the back zips open with these little terracotta beads, and you can put your oils on the inside of the teddy bear. And now your child has this amazing aromatherapy all night long. And then the third way, you guys, this is like my secret super tip, okay, is internally. So there's 2 internal supplements that help with sleep that Young Living makes, and you may or may not know of them. The one that I love that I take is, well, I take both of them, but Sleep Essence is for adults. So if you as a mom or dad need more sleep, get your hands on some Sleep Essence. Is it in stock? Is it out of stock? That one is like a tough one to stay in stock because it is so, I don't know. It is so well loved. And if it's not in stock right now, if anything we mentioned tonight is not in stock, we're still going to mention it and just keep your eye out for it. And when it comes back into stock, like grab it. But the Sleep Essence is a little gel capsule. It has valerian in it. It has lavender in it. It's an amazing, and melatonin, and it's an amazing internal capsule that you would take before bed. But for the kids, we pull out ImmuPro. How many of you have ever used ImmuPro with your children? It's a strawberry flavored chewable tablet. It's like strawberry candy. It has melatonin in it. So I usually cut it in quarters, and the kids will get a quarter or they'll get a half. And if it's one of those nights where we're just so revved up because we're going, and there's no way they're going to go to sleep anytime before midnight, you know, around the time I want them to go to bed, they take their ImmuPro. It does get stuck in the teeth, so they have to brush their teeth afterwards. They brush their teeth after they chew it. They lay down. I read them like half a story and they're out. And the trick with ImmuPro, you guys, is that you have to get them vertical, because there's something about melatonin that if you kind of miss the window of that melatonin kicking in, you actually end up more hyped up afterwards if you don't like take advantage of that window. So ImmuPro is one of my absolute favorites, and I just give it to the kids here and there, and I'll take it myself too when needed.
Yes, my mom loves ImmuPro. That's like one of her favorite things Young Living makes is ImmuPro. And she tells everybody about it and gives everyone ImmuPro in these little bags. Like she's dealing ImmuPro. It's crazy.
I mean, it's one of those things. And you guys, it has Ninja in it. So you guys know Ninja Red,
yes.
Ninja Wolfberry is our like immune support go-to. I mean, I've been giving that to my kids since they were 10 months old and could actually drink juice. Like they've been getting Ninja Red since they were babies. The ImmuPro has Ninja Wolfberry powder in it. So
yeah. And I also just want to add, even if you have like smaller kiddos and let's say you're like sleep training or you're really working on getting your kids to sleep through the night, something I think that was one of the best tips anyone ever gave me in Young Living was that you want to almost pick an oil that you think, you know, works pretty well for you or your kid for sleeping and stick with that oil because the nose is very funny and the sense of smell is very funny. How like certain things, have you ever had like a loved one who like passed away and like when you smell something, it reminds you of them because your memories are connected to scent, right? So I think it's a really powerful thing. And I've been doing this with P for quite a few years now, but when this kid smells tranquil, there's about a 30-second delay in her head hitting the pillow and her being asleep. Like she's out. So we do peace and calming in the diffuser, and we do tranquil on her wrists, behind her ears, her chest. She puts a little bit on her teddy bear, and then we do the Seedlings linen spray because I don't like DIYs. And so
we're like the same.
Yes, exactly. So I use the linen spray from Seedlings, tranquil roller, and peace and calming in the diffuser, and the kid is done. She sleeps 12 hours through the night for probably since she was 3 and she is now 6.
That's awesome.
So start to associate that oil as like a cue for nap or a cue for sleep and use it, you know, in that time. And your kids will start to associate the smell with sleeping.
That's like literally like that Pavlov's dog experiment. You know, the dog would hear the bell and start to salivate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. You know, they smell something and they immediately associate it with sleep.
Yeah. Very powerful little tool and trick to start doing. And start doing it if you don't yet. And I'm telling you, it'll work.
Oh, one more thing also that we're doing for immune support and sleep, and then we'll move on to fevers, is I give my kids about half a dropper full of the CBD. They love the cinnamon, but I have all of them. So some nights we do cinnamon, some nights we do orange or the citrus, but they get about half a dropper full. And so Matt and I have been doing that as well. And he just said to me recently, he's like, I have never been sleeping so deeply. So that CBD, guys, there's a lot of science that backs it. And not only does it help with sleep and calming, but it also is an incredible stimulant for the immune system. So it works, you know, you can do some additional research on CBD. This is non-THC CBD. You don't have to worry about the psychotropic effects. You're not getting any THC in any of your living.
Unfortunately, there's no psychotropic effects.
I know, bummer. I know.
And everybody thinks there is for some reason, and there's just not. But I have to say also, I was really skeptical about the CBD, and I'm the kind of person, I don't know if you guys have gotten the vibe yet, but like, if I love something, I'm going to tell you. If I don't like it, I'm going to also tell you. Like, I'm not just going to say like, everything's great, I love Young Living. Like, no, there are products I really don't care for, you know, and I really thought the CBD might be one of those. And then I started using it, and I was off of it for about 4 days. And Tony, who's my baby daddy, I've been with him for like 9 years, just baby daddy is what we go by, not married, baby daddy. He was like, man, you're being such a babe, basically. And I was like, what's changed? I haven't taken my CBD in like 4 days. So total, like, makes me much more of a more even kind of mannered person. So
it is so true. I did a video in both the business group that I run, but also on my personal page recently, and you guys can go watch it. It was about motivation, but I talked about how I identified I wasn't loving my parenting. I really was having and this I think goes into Dr. Mom, because we need to be showing up as our best selves as a parent, to be taking care of our children, you know, emotionally, physically. Like, health isn't just the physical aspect, an ear infection or a fever. You know, we're raising emotional beings as well. And I wasn't loving how aggressive I was getting and just how quick-tempered I was. And so I really made like a vow with myself. I was going to take it like literally one day at a time, kind of like an AA type style, where I was just going to go one day just being compassionate and gentle. But I've also been doing the CBD, and I really think my daily yoga, my CBD, I'm taking better care of myself, I'm drinking water. does truly, and being mindful about not yelling at my kids, it truly has made me a better mom. And I really attribute the CBD as a component of that. When I'm a better mom.
So are you saying CBD makes you not a bee?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that. I mean, I'm still a bee sometimes, but you know, let's be real. But I do think that when we're being gentle with our children, when we're caring for their emotions, they're going to be healthier as well. You know, stress weakens the immune system. So, you know, there are a lot of components when we're talking about wellness, and we need to take care of ourselves as moms. We have to fill up our own cups first to be able to show up for our children physically, emotionally, and all, you know, the whole 360 degrees.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think that there definitely are a lot of moving parts. So being mindful and, you know, seeing what does, if you are being a little bit shorter, like we all go through that, and you just have to recognize it and then try to fix it, right? So that's half the battle. The next thing I want to talk about, which might be a little controversial, I mean, I wouldn't be on this live if it wasn't controversial, right? Is fevers. And the way that we kind of view fevers in our home, I think maybe a little bit different that makes you comfortable. But again, this is just what, you know, what I've learned and what I've applied and what I've done. So I really want to share it with you guys. So I personally, in my home, do not break fevers. I don't personally believe in breaking a fever. Okay. When I think of what a fever is, and, you know, you really think about it, it's like, let's say that someone was trying to break into your house, right? Let's just say someone's trying to break into your house, and you got your attack dog right next to you, right, on a short leash, and you're gonna literally like shoot your attack dog down. Okay, that's what, instead of letting him go and fight whoever that is trying to come in your house. That's the same thing to me as, you know, breaking a fever. Your body is responding and your body is working. And if you're going to stop it from working, you know, that doesn't really make sense to me. I don't vibe with that view. So, you know, something that I really love is Dr. Larry Pilevsky talks about fevers and, you know, why to not fear a fever, and treating the symptoms of the fever instead of just treating the actual fever. So what that basically means is, like, from what I've learned from him and from, you know, seeing him speak multiple times in person and going to his seminars, and there's even some online resources that I can link here if you guys want to learn more about that. But you don't necessarily have to treat the fever. Just because it's 100.1 doesn't mean you have to give Tylenol. Like, I actually don't even have Tylenol or Motrin in my house.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't either.
I would never use it. Unless my kid was literally like going to the hospital because her fever was that high, I would never use it. Those kind of things rob something from your cells called glutathione, which I have a really cool video I can link here if you want to, if you're like, oh my God, this girl's crazy. What is she talking about? Like, it might be time to get woke, you guys. It's not weird, I swear. A lot of people do this. But Dr. Larry is an amazing resource, and he's a pediatrician. He's really cool. So I can link that. But instead, what we do is we just treat the symptoms. So let's say Penelope's hot. She's hot. She got a fever. She should be hot, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put cool rags under her armpits. We're going to put on her chest, on her head. We're going to, you know, cool her down a little bit, but not go in and break that fever the way that, you know, some pharmaceuticals would, right? So maybe, you know, if it gets high enough, I'm starting to get a little nervous. She doesn't quite look right. You know, give her lots of water and fluids and all that stuff. But something that we use that lowers body temperature, if I need to, is I have a roller on standby with peppermint, frankincense, and lime. And I use that to, if I need to, bring her body temp down a little bit, okay? I will use that on her spine. I will use it on the bottom of her feet, okay? And that is something that I'm telling you, well, if you're not fully in and a believer of oils right now, you will be if you use that in that situation. So I don't shoot the attack dog. That's not my style, all right? And this is just how we parent and, you know, what I feel comfortable with. And we've had great luck with it. So Jamie, I know you kind of vibe with that too.
Absolutely. And guys, if you don't have yourself a reference guide yet to empower yourself to be able to look up some of this information so that when your child happens to get and fall below that wellness line and get ill, if you don't know what to do and you're just constantly falling back on what you did before or what your parents did or what your friends are doing, because you don't know, it's time, as Amanda said, to get woke. It's time to be able to look up this information and be able to say, okay, what do I do? What do I do for a fever? And you can look it up. So I always say Palmarosa, you guys, is the baby and child version of Thieves. Thieves is a very heavy duty oil that's very spicy, and even sometimes it irritates my skin. So you know if it's irritating a 40, almost 41-year-old woman's skin, it's going to irritate, you know, a younger child's skin. So Palmarosa, you can look it up. This is a third-party tool. I'm just going to read to you for a second what it says here. So it is known as kind of the child's version of Thieves because its medical properties are, I'm reading right from this book, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, supports heart and nervous, reduces blood sugar fluctuations, stimulates new skin growth, and this is one also that can really help regulate body temperature. So up and down the spine, if, you know, alongside the rags, the extra fluids and all of that good stuff. Okay, so make sure you have a copy of this book. If you do not have it, you can get this through Life Science Publishing. This is the smaller version. The bigger one even is juicier and has even more information in it.
Yes, that's a great resource to have for sure, and really helps you kind of figure out if you're not sure and you run into something, you can just crack that baby open and that is your guide.
You can see like all my favorites like are all like, you know, it's all dog-eared, and it's like our Bible here.
Yes, absolutely. So know that you don't have to necessarily run to Tylenol and Motrin and those things, and that you can use, you know, cool rags and lots of fluids. And I think we love detox baths too. I do a cup of Epsom salt with some frankincense in the bath. I have Penelope sit for about 20 minutes. We do those like once a week really, because the magnesium in that Epsom salt really, really helps to detox the body. Like it's incredible. So we do those once a week. I do it myself once a week, and for Penelope too. So, you know, you can incorporate some of these things definitely into your, you know, this winter, and see how you fare this winter. You know, like when you are doing your Thieves and you are doing your Ninja and you're doing your detox baths, try it and see if it works better for you. And I'm pretty confident that it will.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm with you on the fevers. So we're going to transition, guys, into like first aid, things like bumps and bruises and bites and boo-boos. But you guys know this stuff. Many of you have been here in Essentially Powerful just as long as I have been. Some of you are newer, but still you know what to do. So what are some of your absolute, let's have you in the comments right now. List me out your top 3 first aid oils that you absolutely carry with you at all times, especially if you're a parent. What are your 3 oils that you need to have with you in case something arises? Because let's face it, children, things are unexpected all the time. You know, unexpected things pop up all the time. So let's just get some comments going below. Also, guys, know that you can share this out. You can press share and share this into any of your groups. As long as they're a member here, they can see this. You can tag people if you feel like this would be helpful. If you've even signed up one member and helped one member get started, this information is probably very helpful for them. And then the other thing that I want to remind you is that this might be a little lengthy because we have a lot to share. And so maybe you don't have an hour to sit here and watch the replay. You can listen to this in chunks, you know, so you can listen to 10 minutes while you're folding the laundry. Just make note of where you stopped. When you're listening to this replay, you don't need to look at our faces. You can just listen. You can listen to this while you're driving. You can listen to this while you're in the shower. You can listen to this while you're making dinner. I always try to make my world my classroom, and I'm learning and I'm listening to things while I'm doing other things all the time. All right, so let's see what's coming in here, Amanda. So we have lavender frank and helichrysum, lavender frank and copaiba. I love it. I'll keep them coming.
Frank is just our dude. Like that's just everybody's dude is Frank. Like that is just good for everything. It's the best. I always keep Owie. I'll tell you mine. I have Owie and Band-Aids in a little like it's like a, sorry to say it, but Johnson & Johnson little white box.
Yeah.
And I just always have that in my bag just in case. Scrapes, bumps, cut, whatever it is. And we've had to use it quite often. And I'm always happy when I have it with me and something like that occurs. Feels good to be prepared.
It feels so good to be prepared. And it's always when you don't have it that you need it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I saw a couple people say helichrysum. Some of you may not know what helichrysum does. It is one of the pricier oils, but everybody needs to add that to their collection this fall, okay? It's an oil that Gary Young, the founder of Young Living, always would say you need to keep a little small vial of it, even if it's just one of these tiny little, you know, sample bottles here in your car, because God forbid you were ever in some type of horrible accident. This helichrysum, if you have anything that's gushing red, when you apply it to that area, it actually helps to stop those issues. So I know that that's probably pretty non-compliant, but it worked. So my husband brings it camping with him, kayaking with him all the time. It's absolutely in his first aid kit. He's super accident prone. He's always coming back with scratches on his legs, and he'll just apply helichrysum to pretty much any bump, scrape, boo-boo that comes up. And we do the same thing for the kids. My daughter has kind of a pronounced that frenum, like that piece of skin in between the teeth. And when she was really little, I'll never forget, she was playing and she smacked her head and it ripped and tore. And so she was bleeding a lot. And so within just a couple of seconds, I put a little dab of helichrysum right on it and it stopped almost immediately. So if you have any type of big cut or scrape or small, that is an oil that absolutely I recommend. In my Dr. Mom kit, I use that on my kids all the time, and we need that on hand all the time. For things like bumps and bruises and bites, we love lavender. Lavender is the Swiss Army knife of oils. There are so many uses to that amazing bottle of oil. So we're using it for sleep, we're using it for stress, but it also works as an disinfectant to any type of scrape or cut, or if you step on something. What I love about so many of these oils is they're calming emotionally as well as cleansing to whatever wound happens to come your way. So what I love doing is if one of my kids falls, scrapes a knee, falls off the bike, is I'll take that lavender and put it in my hand, have them deep, take it over my hand and my hands over their nose. They take some really nice deep inhalations. They get that going through the limbic system into the brain. Their emotions settle, and then I'm able to actually, help the scrape or the bite or whatever it is. I know we're moving into winter, especially here in the Northeast, but bites, how many of you had a bug bite this summer or any type of, bee sting? You need basil in your collection. I love putting basil purification and lavender immediately, as well as a little bit of thieves on any type of bite. And the first time, so I was definitely a non-believer. Like, I got my oils, I had a couple of successes early on, little things, but this was my crazy story. We went camping when Ellie was a baby. So she's 8, she was probably 1.5 or 2. So we're talking 6-7 years ago. And she got covered in mosquito bites. And I felt awful. And so I remember reading, or maybe I pulled out my book because I always had this with me at the beginning, and it said, what to put on. So I made my little concoction in my hand of lavender and a little bit of purification. And I think I did a little bit of thieves in that. And I just started to just dab. She had like 8 bug bites and they were welting up, Amanda, like this big. They were huge. They looked like saucers. And so I just dabbed on the bites, and then she went on her little way. She's a little busy little girl. And maybe an hour or 2 later, I went to check on them, and I pulled up the shirt. And had I not taken pictures of the bites before, I was like, wait a second. Like, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone for a second because they were gone. Like, I was like, wait a second. And I had like Matt come over. I'm like, look, like, I couldn't believe it. I truly couldn't believe it. And there were these little moments in my beginning of my oily journey that got me so steadfast in the belief of these products. Another one was RC. RC was the oil, really, I tell people this story all the time, that launched my business because it helped us so much in the wintertime when my kids were coughing and barking and having really bad respiratory issues. And I mixed with coconut oil and I rubbed on them, and within a few minutes they were back to bed. And we, at that point, we had been given this machine that we had to put over their nose with this big tube. And I was like, how long am I gonna have to give them that for? The doctor's like, oh, you're going to need it for their oxygen levels. And I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right. The oils felt right for me. And all of a sudden the oils were working and that thing collected dust. And we eventually threw it out. So it's these little significant experiences that we all have then I started telling my friends, and you know, the rest is history. You can Google Young Living Diamond and see what that means. It's really transformed our life in the most beautiful way, all because of these experiences that we've shared and helped others, you know. One other story I want to share is Ellie, another Ellie story, because she's just so wild. When she was 2, she got hurt a lot, but she went running head on into a big marble table at an ice cream store, an ice cream you know, restaurant, and she popped up from that table. And she had the biggest goose egg I have ever seen, ever in my life. Like, it made me gag. It was huge, and it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I remember, you know, these are all like the stories. That's why we have to share these stories, guys. We have to tell you what works so that you can do these things and have these experiences too. But Valor, someone had said, use Valor for bruises, use Valor for goose eggs, you know, ice as well, right? So we're not just going for the oils. Of course, we got ice and we did some rest. And so I put Valor on that bump, and we watched it just go down within a few hours. It just went down. And then the next day it was already yellow, which means that the bruise was already healing and like doing, and, you know, we just continued to do Valor. So people will ask me all the time, Jamie, there's so many oils. How do you remember what to do, when to do it? I remember because of what I've used them for and have had success. When lavender started working for my family for sleep, we just used it more. You know, when Valor was working for bumps and bruises, and that little mixture I made in my hand worked for the bug bites, like, we just did it again. So once you have a significant experience, you don't forget it. And you just, you know, you get your book out, you order your oils. Hopefully you're on Essential Rewards. If anyone is ordering oils or Young Living products through quick order or one-time order, you are missing the boat on how amazing Young Living is. So, you know, every month I would just try something new, and it worked. And that just really built my trust in natural healing, natural remedies, alternative options, and keeping like the toxins out of our house and just keeping us really healthy and thriving.
Definitely. I would love if everyone would put in the comments, like, what was your aha oil? What was the oil that made you stop and be like, damn, this stuff actually works? I'll tell you, for me, it was Dry-Dries, okay? Because I have a pretty strong stomach, but something got me one day a couple years ago, pretty bad. And I'm telling you right now, I put Dry-Dries in my belly button and on my stomach. And I will never leave home without that oil. And let me just say, I hate the way it smells. I think it smells horrible. I hate it.
Dirty socks. It's like the grossest dirty socks.
Gross. I can't, some people love it. It's just not my thing. But I associate that smell with relief now, okay? So instead of grabbing Pepto and Tums and all those, you know, nasty things, I just use my Dry-Dries. Tony uses it. Penelope uses it. It is for sure my aha oil. So, a lot of you are saying Dry-Dries.
That was such a good transition while people are putting their aha oil below. And guys, tell us why. Tell us like what it is and tell us why. So I also want to share with you about Dry-Dries. My daughter will tolerate a drop under her tongue if she gets any type of belly stuff. I know that my son really like can't, you know, so we'll make
I would never do that. I would never do that.
Yeah.
But it works really good on me topically. So you just do what works best for you.
Exactly. Mix with a little carrot oil and just, you know, you can rub right on the belly, or some people don't dilute. You know, they just put it on neat and it works. It's one of those oils because it does have a funky smell. Wouldn't hurt to make yourself a belly roller because then you don't even need to touch it, you know? And then of course we have tummy jies for little ones. So there are a few oils I never travel without. I never leave home without. Purification, Valor, lavender, helichrysum, Dry-Dries or tummy jies, thieves. There's so much we can do with thieves. And they're in my zipper pouch, in my bag at all times. And we're pulling them out for, oh my gosh, I would lose track if someone made me count how many times we're pulling out our Young Living products throughout the day for things that we're expecting and sometimes for things that we aren't expecting.
Yes, for sure. And then just to kind of transition now, I just want to bring you guys kind of, we're a little bit, I feel like Jamie and I have so much we want to talk about. I hope you guys were like duly prepared for this because I want to go over immune support with you guys. And I know that a lot of you have probably heard of elderberry syrup. So it's like becoming, I feel like, very popular now. Well, we've been using elderberry for years. And, you know, I honestly buy mine at Whole Foods. We use the Gaia Herbs brand and we use elderberry primarily just to help us with staying well. That's something that we use every single day is our elderberry. If we are under the weather, we'll double up on it, or we'll use more. Like we'll do it 3 times a day. And we just use it every day and then as needed if something were to come up. Now, elderberry is packed with antioxidants and vitamins. It is crazy how fast you can see something coming on, and when you use your oils and your elderberry and you can nip it right in the butt. So I know a lot of you probably know what elderberry is, but you can also infuse your elderberry with essential oils, which is something that I've actually just started doing last year and this year, and totally is a game changer. So you can actually buy elderberries on Amazon, like organic elderberries. You can make your own elderberry syrup. It's stupid easy. You literally like boil it and let it cool and add honey. Like that's it, and oils. So I love using thieves with ours. It tastes so good. And Penelope loves it. It's one of those things that it's not hard to get her to take it because it tastes so good.
And you know what, while you're on that, because I know we have, so much more to cover, and, people will watch this in bites and pieces, I'm hoping. But I feel like we use Ninja the same way. We take Ninja Red every single day. It's Young Living's antioxidant, incredible puree. We can't even call it a juice. A juice would be a downgrade. I don't call it a juice. It is an antioxidant puree. They have the seeds, they have the stems, they have the skin of that Ninja wolfberry, which is so high in antioxidants, just like the elderberry. And they puree that up. And so we drink that every single day. And then when something is coming on, that is upped. So usually the kids take 1 packet a day, or we'll do like an ounce a day, maybe 2 ounces a day. But if something's coming on, allergy season, runny nose, whatever it is, we're upping the elderberry, we're upping the Ninja. And then Matt and I, we will take, as if, again, I feel like, I'm repeating a little bit, but if the parents are not healthy, guys, how on earth can the kids be healthy? So we are huge, huge lunatic fans of Inner Defense. We have 4 bottles in our cabinet at all time, because if we forget that we are running low and then someone needs Inner Defense, like all heck breaks loose in our home. So if you guys have not discovered what Inner Defense is yet, you guys are missing out. There was no reason to have a winter this winter and suffer. Between Ninja Red, elderberry syrup, and Inner Defense, you are going to be golden. You feel something coming on, you up your elderberry. I mean, we do recommend take it every single day. Take your Ninja every single day. Use your thieves every single day. We'll talk about that in a moment. But if something's coming on, you turn things up a little notch. And so you take a little extra elderberry, you take extra Ninja, and you take Inner Defense. It's a capsule with thieves and oregano, and it's ready to go for you. So you're not fussing and mussing, making your own capsules. I know some people do. Amanda, I'm guessing you don't. I don't. No. Who has time for that? Yeah.
I don't make stuff.
No. It's so funny. I'm the same. So, and when
some people love it.
When I do make something, I'm like so proud of myself.
Yeah. So proud. So proud.
I did it.
Yes, but we actually call Inner Defense our first responder. So like if there's a man down and like something is in your house and like you gotta get it together real quick, that's when we pull out Inner Defense. That is like we call it our first responder. That's how I like to think of it.
100%. What we call it Inner D. That's like our nickname here is Inner D. But like if one of our kids, like let's say gets the stomach flu, which is rare, but literally like before we're helping them, we're like in the kitchen taking our Inner Defense, like immediately.
Well, that's like, how like when you're on a plane, right? It's gonna sound weird, but how like you're on a plane and they tell you when the air mask drops, put your air mask on before you try to help somebody else's. It's the same idea. You need to take care of yourself before you take care of whatever else is going on. So, and that is something that parents struggle with because we're all tired and we're all, doing the best we can for our kids. You have to take care of yourself.
It's so true. It's so true. So, so those are huge. So we were also going to touch on colloidal silver. I know earlier up, somebody mentioned colloidal silver. How many of you incorporated colloidal silver into your wellness routine? So again, colloidal silver is one of those things. If you Google it right now, you're going to find some controversy. Same thing with the elderberry, guys. There's tons of research. Let me back up a second. There's tons of research on elderberry that the flavonoids in the elderberry actually adhere to the flu virus. So a lot of people like rely on elderberry syrup so heavily during cold and flu season. Other people will tell you that's complete garbage. That's not true. That's, whatever, it's a berry. How could a berry do that? So this is up to you to do your research and make decisions and see what works for you. Okay. Same thing with the colloidal silver. Yeah, that's okay. I'll just keep going.
I'm like choking over here for some reason.
Oh my goodness. You okay? It probably went down like a, went down the wrong pipe there. I hate when that happens. Ugh.
I slow myself down.
Yeah. So the colloidal silver, it's the same thing. So Michelle, looks like Michelle uses the silver. You're going to do some research on it right now. You're going to go to the Google machine and you're going to find that it's crap, that, it doesn't work and that it's dangerous. And then other people swear by it. And so colloidal silver is something that, hi there. Oh, how cute. She's so adorable. Colloidal silver.
She so needs to go to bed.
Yeah, and Matt, I thought I heard footsteps like a little while ago, so I think mine finally settled down. They have a homeschool class in the morning, like early, so hopefully that lavender is diffusing and they're settling in. But colloidal silver, guys, is one of these things when you do some research on it, and I actually pulled up some little facts here, is that it can be used to, like back in, actually, let me just move my phone for 1 second so I can read this. They did some major studies on this, and back in the 1980s, Larry C. Ford documented that silver can actually kill over 650 bacteria, fungi, parasites, molds, fungus that has potential to sprout diseases, as well as, and guys, did you know we have a Young Living product that contains colloidal silver? I bet you did not know this. So wait for it. Wait for it.
One of my favorites.
I know. I know. It's like it's one of my favorites too, and it's so like under talked about. Robert Becker did some research with Syracuse Medical School. He made a really amazing discovery that silver ions directly applied to open wounds actually helped with infection. So you guys do your own research on this, but colloidal silver is another thing that you and your family can be taking. Some people take it internally. Some people put it in their mouth and spit it out. Some people put it on their skin. It is in the Young Living mouthwash. So yeah, the Thieves mouthwash, you guys, contains colloidal silver. We're not swallowing it. We're not swallowing it. You're swooshing around. You're gargling.
I mean, you could if you wanted to. If you're into that, you could.
You could if you want to. But if you have any types of cuts, scrapes, sores in your mouth, if you're not using that mouthwash and you're suffering, why? And this is like what, you scroll Facebook. Do you not get so like annoyed sometimes when you're scrolling Facebook and these people are out there suffering in the world, like suffering from ear infections, suffering from lack of sleep, suffering from, people talk about all the weirdest stuff on Facebook, like, oh, I've got a canker sore. Oh my gosh, if you had this colloidal silver mouthwash, like, so I feel like Young Living helps with so many things. And that's what we have to offer people, guys. We can share this information. But the mouthwash, in addition to keeping your oral health very, very on point, it can help with immune support. All of the Thieves products are crucial to have you and your family going well visit to well visit. And that is why Young Living starter kit, you guys, that's not just a starter. Like, it is a starter kit. It's not a finished kit is what I meant to say. It's not, okay, one and done. And if you're watching this and all you ordered was the starter kit and you've never explored anything else, you are totally missing out on the wellness that Young Living can offer you through the monthly ordering program, through Essential Rewards, because this is where you are going to be able to swap out things like your toothpaste, your toxic lotions, the awful skincare that everyone else in the world is selling, and it's making women sick. The makeups that are making women sick. If women are sick, how can we take care of our children, right? Oxygen mask. Young Living has everything from spaghetti to protein to lip gloss to mouthwash with colloidal silver in it. So rather than going to Target, to Whole Foods, to all these other stores, you can purchase all of your items every month through Essential Rewards. Young Living basically gives you free points that you can then cash in on more free stuff. So if you're not on Essential Rewards yet, guys, reach out to the person who helped you get started and say, I'm ready for Essential Rewards. And if they don't know about it, because maybe they don't, just log in, click on Essential Rewards, and it'll walk you through the prompts. It's very easy to sign up, and it's no pressure. Like, you can stop at any time, but I've been on it for almost 8 years. Like, there's no way I'm leaving Essential Rewards. It's one of the best parts of Young Living. This is how we go well visit to well visit. Every month we have, we don't order the same things every month. We change out what we need, but every month we have these products that are coming into our home that are just vastly supporting our entire body, mind, spirit, physical, emotional, being.
Yes, and I mean, I've been on Essential Rewards for, I don't even know, probably I think like 3 years already, and I would go and drop so much money at Target, and I loved walking through, Target with like a nice coffee, a nice red cart, and like just I didn't need pillows or curtains or shoes, none of that. I didn't need it, but I went in and I wound up spending more money than I intended. Got stuff that was full of chemicals anyway, and greenwashed and whatever else. So Essential Rewards is really the easiest way where you can get rewarded for making these safer switches, right? So highly recommend if you haven't. And I know Echo Summerhill has an awesome video. You can just go to YouTube, type in Echo Summerhill transfer buying, and I can link that here too. 10 minutes, she explains it soup to nuts. It's amazing. So definitely one of the greatest benefits from Young Living.
It truly is. It really, really is. I used to love going to CVS. That was kind of my thing. I was like, oh, let me just go walk around to CVS.
Really?
Yeah, just like walking around, and I'd get my makeup there. Like, I had no idea. This was many years ago, like 15, 20 years ago. I would just walk around, and I don't even know the last time I've been in a drugstore like that. Maybe if we run out of toilet paper, like, fine, if I have to run in there in a jam. But like, we don't buy anything from there anymore because we get everything we need through Young Living. And going back to what I said a little while ago about the toxic overload that our bodies can experience if we're not paying attention to what's going on in our body, that depletes the immune system in a huge way. See, there is another CVS girl there.
Yeah, just so you know, that's the only one.
Why? What's wrong with CVS?
Who goes to CVS?
Oh my gosh, I'm going there tomorrow and taking a picture of myself in there just because.
reliving the wonder years at CVS.
I'm gonna get some like Wild Splash like nail polish or something like that. 99 cents.
I can.
Oh my gosh. But seriously, if we are not paying attention to what is going on in our body, that depletes the immune system, and same thing with our little children. So I'm very grateful for Young Living. I know that when Young Living releases a new product, I don't have to do my homework. We know it's top notch. We know the quality is stellar. I really take like a lot of solace and comfort when I'm taking my makeup off, and I know when I take my makeup off, I'm taking it off with something good. When I'm putting it back on, it's pure, it's good. It's not depleting, and adding to potential illness down the road. I want to be around for my kids for a long time.
Yes, definitely. And it can seem overwhelming at first, but if you just go like start with the Thieves Cleaner, that eliminates every other cleaner in your house. You know what I mean? Young Living has this so thought out and set up that you can literally make your home chemical free with Essential Rewards in just a few short months. And I'm talking like from your floor to ceiling, everything in your cabinets. It's very easy once you get on the right path to make those safer switches, right? And we all have our guilty pleasures. Like I still have some things that I use that maybe aren't the best.
I do too.
Not cleaner wise, but there's some things like my eyebrows. I still use Anastasia Beverly Hills, guys. I'm just gonna admit it to you right now. Everyone asks me about my eyebrows. Guess what? Extra petroleum. But guess what? That's my one thing. My one thing. So
I feel that way like about my hairspray. Like I still use kind of a toxic hairspray, but it's like, but you guys, it's there. I've done a video. If you search, I think I did it on my personal page. So if you go to my personal page and put in Jamie MacKenzie toxins, I think you'll find a video on that I did. And I talk a lot about bioaccumulation. And bioaccumulation is like, imagine this cup and imagine a little drip is going into this cup. Eventually it's going to overflow. And so the same thing happens with our bodies and our immune systems. Eventually a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Oh, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to use this toxic skin this or this toxic skin that. Eventually your body really can't take it anymore and your immune system starts to break down. And the same thing happens with our children. So the more things that we can switch to safer and make healthier choices, the better off we're going to be.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, Thieves in general, we love all of our Thieves products, and as many touch points as you can have with Thieves throughout the day, from your mouthwash and your toothpaste to your hand soap at your, kitchen counter, the cleaner, all of those things, Thieves is working to support your immune system. And also everything is chemical free. So that entire line, if you guys haven't taken like a deep dive into like all of the different Thieves products, there's no better time than now to start, because I'm telling you, even if you just, let's say, start with your oral care, it's your first essential rewards order, grab the toothpaste, grab the mouthwash, the dental floss, which we love. It's like so weird. We have dental floss with thieves in it. Like, what doesn't Young Living have, right? You know, just with those simple things, start there. And then, you know, go on to your soaps and whatever else. Like we have a Thieves body soap too, which not many people use. I know my friend Diana, who does Young Living, also like loves the Thieves body soap. So there are so many things, and the more touch points you can have with Thieves throughout the day, the more you're supporting your immune system without even really realizing that you are.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true, because you guys, that Thieves is cinnamon, clove, eucalyptus, lemon, rosemary. That's all. When you look up those plants in that amazing reference guide I told you about, you will see that those plants are so immune supportive, so incredible. I don't love using that word immune boosting. I don't think anything boosts the immune system, and anything that's ever going to claim a boost is probably lying. Supporting is another thing, right? There are things we do every day to support our immune system and our children's immune system. Extra water or ample water, sleep, good healthy foods, non-toxic products, plants that actually support rather than deplete. So we really do hope that tonight was helpful for you guys. Thank you for bearing with us with the technical difficulties. We'll delete out those other videos if we haven't done that yet. And Amanda, this was really fun. We should do this again.
Sounds good to me. And I hope you guys found all of that stuff super helpful, and maybe has you thinking a little bit, maybe differently this cold and flu season, and having the confidence with all of your Young Living stuff that you guys can go into it well armed. And now you know about elderberry and colloidal silver too, which we're really excited to share with you guys.
I would love to know one thing they learned. Like, if they want to pop that below, what's one thing new that you learned? What's one new thing you might want to try? We would love to hear what was most helpful tonight.
For sure.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.